So it's all to play for still.
I think so. Do you want to bet against us?
Good morning, Aston Villa fans. Afternoon, I suppose.
Yeah.
How are we doing today? Aston Villa versus West Ham in the boiling ground. No, it's not. I just can't remember what they call it now. What's it called?
The London Stadium.
Just the London Stadium. Oh, how did they come up with that name?
The bowling ground was Upton Park.
It was. No, I know. Yeah, I know the bowling ground was Upton Park. I just couldn't remember. I thought that they had changed the name. I thought they had actually gotten a sponsor involved with the London Stadium, and that it was going to be the blah 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 London Stadium. I should have really done my research on that beforehand. Either way,
I wonder what the weather's like in the London Stadium, because I think I need a lot of a cap here because the sun is baiting in off the window.
yeah. You're like a goalkeeper in the early 90s. You're going to need to go and get a cap off someone from behind the goals.
Yeah. Doing it this time of day, whatever sun it is, it's lashing rain and the sun is coming down.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know whether it's just my audio, and I think it is my audio on my side where I am finding it difficult to hear you. But if anybody's finding it difficult to hear Paddy, just let us know, because if it's just me, that's fine. I'll plow through. Ever the professional. But we have obviously a game today: Aston Villa versus West Ham United. A West Ham United team that are 3 games after losing the last 3 games. Oh, Paddy's audio isn't good. Oh, that's okay. Well, it's not okay, but we'll let Paddy sort that out there. Maybe just unplug and plug it back in again. But we have West Ham versus Aston Villa. I've seen a couple of people range this from this will be a test to see if we're the real deal to this is a free hit. And I don't think either are correct, to be honest, myself. But I don't think either of them are incorrect either, if that makes sense. I don't have a huge opinion on what somebody thinks about this game, to be honest. But I think that it's one of those games whereby West Ham are... I think it's fair to say West Ham, when they're looking at trying to get when we're looking at trying to get our implementation of our structure and our systems, we're 3 games into our structure and our system, as Stephen Gerrard has tried to implement, whereby we're getting wins. West Ham are 2 years into it. So from that point of view, I don't know whether we should be looking to emulate where West Ham are right now, but I think they're 2 years ahead of us with regards to the implementation of their structure, the coherency, the cohesion of their team, all that kind of stuff. These intangibles that people talk about when you talk about dressing room politics, people finding their own place. The voice of the managers obviously is concurrent. We've got Stephen Gerrard is only coming mid-season. All these kind of things, they do matter. They absolutely matter, specifically when you're playing at this level. So from that point of view, I don't think that we're pretenders if we don't win this game today. But also, I think that we should be looking at going in there here and getting something while we can. And while they're on a bad run of 3 games without winning. And also Sevilla, they're just back from Sevilla midweek as well. So so there's a lot of talking points. There's a lot of permutations in this one. Paddy, are you back again? I think you're muted somehow. I'll unmute your mic there. I'll try and unmute it. Oh, I said, yeah,
hello.
Yeah, perfect. Got you there now. Gotcha. Brilliant. You sound great to me anyway, and that's all that matters. What do you think, Paddy? Was my little screed there? Was that? How do you feel about that? That while yes, we're jostling for position with West Ham, or we're jostling for position in want to get up to that area of being just underneath probably the top 4, top 5, top 6 area. But West Ham are probably 2 years further down. And I think West Ham got extremely lucky with how far down the line they are in their plan, because I don't think this is the plan they actually had.
Look, it's there's no free hits anymore. We're building a legacy here now. It's time to go and attack these teams. Funnily enough, I don't hold much hope today, as in I don't envisage there's going to be many goals, judging on how they're defending and how we're defending. So even without looking at the teams, I'm predicting a 0-0 draw or a very tight 1-0 win or loss. I think it's going to be a chess match throughout. I don't imagine we're going to see the kind of open play that we've seen in the last couple of games. So with that in mind, Yes, you're talking about West Ham being further down the line. That is absolutely right. And, they've been the beneficiary of waiting for the David Moyes effect to kick in. He has really solidified that club and that team. And, they're knocking around Europe now, year on, year out. So they're one of the big boys. They're not the very big boys. They're not the greedy boys. But, they're up, and they're probably where we will look to be next season. All going well, and after a good transfer window in the summer. But as I said, I'm not particularly hopeful about today. But I think I'd be okay with a draw after what we've seen in the last 3 games.
Oh yeah, like remember I spoke about winning 2 games in the bounce is something that's very difficult to do in this league. When you look at historically how many times Aston Villa have done it since like 2010 or 2008, since the Martin O'Neill era. Winning 4 games on the bounce in the Premier League, I couldn't tell you when that happened. Like Stephen Gerrard came out with a statistic. Somebody will tell me if I'm right with this. We won 3 games in a row and didn't concede a goal. The first time we did it in 12 years. So we've already surpassed what we historically do. In a run of games within the Premier League. Let's keep that going. But I think it's like Paddy, my favorite phrase I think is it's a must not lose game. I've said that an awful lot since Aston Villa have got back into the Premier League. And I think today, if we're to keep this end of season flurry going, because there's some rotten games coming up, there's some real doozies coming up for Aston Villa now. And I think if you can come away from places like the London Stadium with a point, come away from the Emirates with a point, come away from those kind of places, that this shows steeliness, and that's what's going to build belief with this football club. Yeah, look, we all want to go in there hoping that we get 3 points and stuff like that, but let's turn those losses into draws. Paddy, you might remember when we spoke about Brighton. We spoke about the Brighton game, and I know that we're coming up, and I'm filling a small bit of time here. We're coming up to the team sheet being announced. It should be announced any minute, but I'm going to still any second. I'm going to still go ahead with what I'm saying. We spoke about Brighton. Brighton were in a position whereby they were drawing games left, right, and centre. And we were talking about, if we want to get stability, not be yo-yoing up and down, close to relegation, close to Europe and stuff like that, we need to start turning losses into draws. And this is the perfect game to turn from a loss, which everybody is, I'm not going to say expecting, but everybody's kind of saying, it would be, Villa mightn't get something from this based on the way the season has gone. If we turn this into a draw, that's going to be a big shot in the arm for Stephen Gerrard going 4 unbeaten in the Premier League when we couldn't even buy a shot on target for 2 games against 2 of the basement teams in Newcastle and Watford. So talk the management talk about progression, and what says more progression than this? We don't have a team sheet up yet, or No,
you're 10 minutes early. Neil, I have to go and put a hat on because I'm not going
to... yeah. Am I 10 minutes early for the team sheet? No, the team sheet should be out now. It's 2 o'clock kickoff.
It's 2 o'clock kickoff, so it's an hour beforehand.
Oh, yeah. Right. I forgot I started this 10 minutes earlier.
This is the only hat I have to hand.
Paddy, are you taking the piss over the rugby result yesterday? Is that what you're doing now? Is that are you rubbing that in? We tried to for any of the English people watching this, we tried to let you win the rugby yesterday. Not our fault, okay? It's just not our fault. We tried to let you win after that early red card, but it just didn't happen.
I'll only get away with this hat once a year, being St. Patrick's Day on Thursday. So
it's almost as if you planned this. It's almost as if you planned it. Let's take a look because we're 10 minutes early, Paddy. We've got 9 minutes to go through the comments. This is fantastic. So we have coconuts in here, and this determines if we're pretenders or the real deal. And while I think that there is a lot of merit in that, and there's a team in a lot of the comments in this. I think there's merit in that. I think it's probably too early to say whether we are the real deal or whether we are pretenders, regardless of what the result is today, based on the small sample set of success that we've had so far. And we've only just changed the formation. If we remember, Stephen Gerrard came in, we looked like real deal or pretenders with playing with the 2 10s. The wheels came off that pretty early. So let's see where if we can find this more traditional setup is what Aston Villa have here. If this continues to have longevity, absolutely, then I'll 1,000,000% agree with you in that one, coconuts. But I think maybe this is the game 4 of the new strategy and the new tactics. But look, we'll take a win anyway we can get it, as I say, for sure. And Fred Red is the same. Counterfeit Leicester or real deal dark horses. That's what this match will determine. I don't know if we're the counterfeit Leicester or if West Ham are the counterfeit Leicester. But either way, it's going to be a team in claret and blue that you think is the counterfeit Leicester for sure. Thomas, how are you doing? Afternoon, folks. We take a point today. Keeps the unbeaten run going. I think that's important. I think that's important with these players too. Our captain, fantastic, is 29 years of age today. Tyrone Mings. So I know this is going to sound a bit silly, but he's a big voice within the dressing room. We often talk about, if you drop Ashley Young, will it pollute the dressing room, or will it send a bad or you drop Chambers and bring in Konza, will it send a bad message to the dressing room? Well, you know what? If you were talking about dressing room harmony and things like that, if our captain, it's his birthday, this team is going to go out and win there for the captain. It might only be an extra 0.5% of a turning point in it, but it's still something. And I know that it's completely intangible, and I have no way of saying whether it will absolutely have an effect at the end or not. But it's it's definitely something to wade into if we do look at the whole. Well, this guy played well the last year. He came on, had a great 20 minutes like Sanson, and then he doesn't get the start. Does that make the dressing room feel like the team is a closed shop and no one can get into it? I don't know. I'm not 100% sure that a lot of those ring true at this stage of the season. I'm not sure that a lot of those ring true. Nathan Botflower says, I am feeling a great win today, boys. Our Brazilian centre half with a 30-yard screamer. Yeah, Paddy's mate, Callum Chambers. He called it. He called it last day, Paddy.
Called it the last 2 days.
Last 2 days is right. Exactly.
And look, I just hope his run doesn't end today. I hope he has another decent game today if he starts, which I anticipate he will.
Exactly. Paddy, I don't want to jinx it, but I'm going to say it anyway. Since I've moved the Coutinho jersey from over here to over here, things have been on the up. I'm taking 110% of the credit for Callum Chambers. Nathan Stokes says, okay, lads, for me, the same winning side. I've got a feeling that West Ham might be a step too far for us today. It's conceivable. Once again, we talk about intangibles an awful lot there after an energy-sapping game against Sevilla, who were, they had a tougher time against on Thursday last than we did for the last 30 minutes against Leeds. Leeds' journey is what, 2 hours on a coach, 3 hours on a coach. I'm really showing my lack of UK geography at the moment. But the Sevilla journey, there's going to be holdover times in airports. There's going to be waiting for escorts from the ground and stuff. So there's a lot of delays and messing that can go on in European games like that. And I've completely blanked on what the score was in that game, Paddy. What was the score in the West Ham Sevilla game? Same when anyone wants to throw it into the comments.
They lost 1-0. West Ham lost 1-0.
Lost 1-0. Well, so delays are going to piss you off even more. I should have known that. I just said that they have 3 losses in the bounce now in their last 3 games. Guys, we've got a load of people watching. Really, really appreciate this. Really love doing the team sheet tantrums. We've 4 more minutes until the teams are announced. At the moment, I do have another little co-commentator beside me here. So if anyone can hear any little mumbling, that isn't me. But for everybody that's watching today, can I please get you to give it a thumbs up on the YouTube stream? If you're not a subscriber, could I get you to like and subscribe this, please? And also, you know what will really help us out, because we're going to have a little bit of a giveaway soon. If you guys could find the actual tweet for this, if Twitter is your bag, and just retweet it, tries to throw us out towards the world so that more people can get interactive here, and we can read out more comments from people and see what the feeling is among the fan base, because these shows are something that we really, really love doing.
Shall we give away a prize, Neil?
We will. Well, we'll. Yes, let's give away a prize. Well, let's initiate giving away a prize. We teased about the 6 socks, isn't it, Paddy? Isn't that what we have to give away today? We've got some 6 sock Aston Villa gift box set. So if anybody's got cold feet, if I don't know, is there somebody out there that's getting married soon? Maybe you want to have a pair of Aston Villa socks underneath your suit as to be represented on the day. I don't know. We've got 3 pairs. There's 3 pairs of socks here and a 6 sock gift set at the moment. Paddy, how are we going to give it away? We didn't even discuss this beforehand, so I'm going to let you decide how we're going to give this one away.
Well, I think we'll keep a tradition, and I'll message Stephen here and get him to pick out a comment, and he'll pick out the comment, and all you got to do is put anything in, put a thumbs up. I'll get him to randomize it, and we'll pick it that way.
Cool. Excellent. The beauty of having a 16-year-old gentleman downstairs that can work technology better than the two of us to be able to randomize a winner is fantastic. It's great. It's like having a producer on the show. AVFC Stato, thanks for tuning in. It's been great to have you the last couple of weeks. No Jared Bourne for them today is a big win for us. My spider senses are telling me that West Ham have a 16.7% win rate when Jared Bourne is out of the team. That's a running joke at the moment, 16.7%. And it'll be interesting to see if Kanza does start today again over Callum Chambers. But I think, it's as I said before the last game against Leeds, I don't really mind who plays between the two of them at the moment because it's all about forging partnerships. They're two very, very good centre halves. And, if Kanza comes back in, so be it. If Chambers starts, so be it as well. So it's a great, great problem to have. Tom says that we always find West Ham difficult. I'm thinking a draw away from home is a decent result. And this is good because when we talk about progression, 4-1, the day after this, my co-host who's here beside me in this little bundle of joy was born, I actually watched this in neonatal unit. I watched the 4-1. So I was there looking at it on the phone going, oh, for God's sake. And so if anything, my child needs to see Villa at least get a point against West Ham because she had a rude awakening to Villa supporting on her very first day on this planet. So let's avenge that. But you're dead right. A draw away from home would be very good. We don't have a very, very good recent record against West Ham. If we could get something like we did in the last day of the season, 2020, that would be great. Keep it tight, maybe get a goal, an early goal, a late goal or an early goal, whichever way it is. And then if West Ham come back and peg us back, that's cool by me too. As long as we don't come away with a loss from this game, I think it'll be a real, real result. Where else are we? We are less than a minute away. Michael Huggins says, as Jared said today, we reset. Forget about the last three games. We'll take the confidence forward. We can win today if the players focus on what to do. Yes, you're correct on legacy. No time for shit. Exactly. I agree with that too. Sean Green is hoping for a Traore masterclass as he comes on as a sub to break the deadlock. We haven't seen much of his Maverick play at the moment, and the way this team is playing, I think if he was to come on, he could revel in some space that this team is creating. I think he's probably going to have to maneuver himself into a striking role to get into this team, which I think he can do. And I think maybe bringing him on as a Danny Ings type, as a replacement for Danny Ings with Watkins running around to create space for him and Coutinho treading balls through, I think that would be good. But he would require a small bit of retraining to play up there for sure. How are we looking on the team?
Team is in. Team
is in. Oh, here we go. Line up. Adding it to the stream. So we have Martinez in goals, Cash, Chambers, Tyrone Mings, Luke Dean, John McGinn, Douglas Luiz, Jacob Ramsey, Coutinho, Ings, and Watkins. A very, 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 very familiar look to this team because it's been the same team we've trotted out for the last two games. So no changes as we go to the London Stadium today. The bench, for everybody whose eyesight is straining to see, is Robin Olsen, sub-goalkeeper, Ezri Konsa, Ashley Young, Tim Iragbunam, Sanson, Buendia, Chukwuemeka, Bailey, and Traore. So no changes on the bench either. So it looks like for once in Stephen Gerrard's tenure, we're getting stability and we're getting a settled team, a settled feel to this team. So nice. Yeah, look, as I say, Chambers' goal deserves a start. His performance deserves a start. And, everything in between, I suppose, that he's done really deserves a start for Aston Villa.
I think the only debate was I thought Jacob Ramsey was very quiet on Thursday. I thought he looked leggy. I thought his first touch wasn't what it normally is, and he just looked tired. So the only change I would have justifiably made would have been to maybe put Sanson in for him, but we're not looking at him training every day, so I'm sure he's absolutely fine, and he's gone with him again today.
Yeah, it's a good sign, I suppose. Look, once again, winning team, why change it? Everybody, we've nearly 300 people watching here simultaneously at the moment. If you haven't if you weren't in here earlier on, if you could really like this stream, that would be brilliant. Also, leave a comment in the live chat too. We have a prize to give away. It's a gift box, Aston Villa team gift box from 6 Socks. So I want to give that away today before we finish the stream. Also, if you could do us a favor, and if you've seen the tweet that we have out here for this live stream, if you could just retweet that would be fantastic too. This really, really helps us out. Great stuff. Like, Paddy, talk to me a small bit here about midfield. Obviously, the West Ham midfield is there. That is what their game is all built on. Souček and Rice. They've been winning games almost on their own for West Ham for the whole of this season. I think there's a bit of I'm not going to say that there's a bit of a template from the Kidderminster Harriers game, but since the Kidderminster Harriers game and the fact they needed to bring on the likes of Declan Rice and Jared Bowen and all those guys to kind of dig them out of a hole, it's been difficult for West Ham. And do you think that Aston Villa need to get in around those two midfielders today, or are they going to be the stifling block for our magician there in Philippe Coutinho?
Well, you see, I have no problem with them. No problem with them stifling Coutinho, because that means someone has to stay at home all the time. It's the worrying thing is when one of them goes off on a marauding run and we're on the back foot, then you see some brilliant through balls to the strikers. But you're right, they have been on a bad run, and I think a lot of it is down to just loads of games and having the squad depth that you need for European football. They need a little bit more than what they have, and I think it's catching up on them. So hopefully we can get over that today. But I'm not completely sure that that's going to happen. But I'll be absolutely over the moon if we get something out of it.
So let's take a look and see what team West Ham have out, because we've completely neglected to talk about them in this whole transaction. So Fabianski in goals, Ben Johnson, Dawson, Zuma and Cresswell. Rice and Souček do take up those two positions, as we mentioned. Fornals, Lanzini and Benrahma play behind Antonio, with Areola, Fredericks, Diop, Masuaku, Noble, Kral, Okaflex, Perkins and Yarmolenko on the bench for West Ham. So not too many surprises there for me with the West Ham team.
No,
their back four want to set up like
I think that's their strongest team, to be fair.
I think so too.
Like what I just said about depth, they've got young Armstrong, Okaflex, who's probably about 17, an Irish international on the bench. So they're they're scraping a bit, but it's what they're putting on the pitch that matters, and that first choice, that first team is probably their first choice.
I think so too. Like one place we can get joy out of this team, and sometimes I think the teams are beginning to figure this out with West Ham a small bit. And when I say figure it out, I mean that very loosely. I don't mean as if it's failing for West Ham, because they can turn it on at any time. The three lads they have behind Antonio, they're very similar players. Fornals, Lanzini, Benrahma, very, very similar. And they do try and interchange a small bit. Benrahma probably a bit more maverick than the other two guys. But I think there's going to be big work to be done by John McGinn today. Big work, because Fornals gets around the field, Lanzini gets around the field, and Benrahma likes to probably stay further forward of those three. But John McGinn and Douglas Luiz are in for a torrid time today in just being disciplined in their positioning. Jacob Ramsey probably less so, I think, because the way that Ramsey and Digne kind of stack up together, they almost play on the same line at times, specifically in this. So Digne does go further forward. He had a fantastic game against Leeds, and he got no credit for it. I watched it back again. He scored the lowest of all our players on applications like FootMob and who scored. But for me, he just, like, everything good that came from Villa down that left-hand side just came from Luca Digne. His ball that he fizzed in, that Watkins couldn't get to, who he was probably fouled at that stage, where it felt Coutinho, and Coutinho then stuck it in the back of the net, albeit with a deflection. That run from Digne, that overlapping run, was just cream. It was brilliant, and he gets no credit for some of that sometimes, specifically when people are rating games and so on. So, but the reason he gets there is because he gets up tighter to Jacob Ramsey a small bit more. Specifically in this, and I think that Jacob Ramsey has been kind of stifled in this newer setup, but I'm okay with it, and I think he's okay with it, and he's learning a new side of the central midfield position. So from that point of view, those three lads behind there, if you can stifle them, you'll stifle an awful lot to do with West Ham, because it will mean that they will be reduced to raking balls from Rice or Souček, or Rice and Souček will have to push up to help those guys, leaving us space in front of Dawson and Zuma, who aren't very good on the turn. And I can tell you one thing for sure: if Coutinho gets a run on either of the two of goes, we're in for a brilliant day. That's for sure. That's why they need
Yeah.
Rice and Suchek behind there too.
Yeah. One other player to mention there as an attacking threat is Cresswell. He always has a really good game against us. His delivery is pinpoint every time. So he's one that we'll need to watch, and we'll probably see Danny Ings in that role when we lose the ball. He put in some shift on Thursday night, tracking back down that right-hand side. So I imagine he would be the one with the task of keeping him back there.
Yeah, I think so too. I think so too. If we are to get joy out of here, we need to stop. We just need to stop ball. Like feeding the ball to Antonio is what they do. It sounds silly. Sounds like the easiest thing in the world. Every team tries to do that. Their centre forward, but Antonio he's an enigma. And I'll tell you why I think he's an enigma. Started off at right back, played right wing, was really a championship player. And then all of a sudden, a late bloomer comes into the Premier League, puts on about a stone of muscle, and then turns into like prime, striking genius in the Premier League. And is West Ham's top scorer in the Premier League. But as Carrot Blue Witch says below, Antonio hasn't scored in his last 8 games. So you know what that means. Yeah, he's not going to score in 9 games. That's what it means. Hopefully, fingers crossed. We can marshal him because he's a block of a man. He's a heavyweight boxer. Like he's a heavyweight boxer in waiting. When his soccer career is over, put him in the ring against against Derek Chisora and just let the two of them flake each other for half an hour, because I'd say it would be so bang up in the way that Antonio plays. But a couple of other comments there. Let's just see here. A couple of comments. We've neglected those comments there for a moment. Standing on the Word says, I'm happy with the team, a winning formula, keep it the same. But having said that, I worry about the pace of Antonio. Hence, perhaps Konza might be quicker than Chambers. I suppose the big thing here is if you stop the ball coming to Antonio, if you stop the ball coming to him, then there's merit in that too. And I don't know, Chambers being a fullback, I think he can get into the channels with Antonio a small bit better. But then again, who's going to fight? Who's going to front up with Antonio? I don't like Mings fronting up with centre forwards. We don't tend to see him do well in the physical battle. So let's see if Chambers can run around well with Antonio in the athletic battle, and see how that goes for sure. Guys, pop in your comments there as well. Pop in any comments to be in with a chance to win the 6 socks gift box. And even if it's just we want to pop in a score prediction, that's all cool. Paddy's son Stephen is going to pick a winner there, and we will give those away before we finish up the stream today. And we'll be finishing up in the next 5-10 minutes, depending on how excited I get about a comment.
So 6 socks, just so you know how to spell it, because I get it wrong every time. SICSOCK. Yeah. They are an amazing company, and the unique selling point of these is when you buy a box or when you buy a pair of socks off them, they donate 1 pair to a homeless charity, which is fantastic in the times we're in, that a company is doing that. So check them out if you can support them. Absolutely, get onto their website, and you might, if you don't win this set, you might buy a set today, or even one of the socks, and you'll be donating one to a homeless charity as well.
Rob wants to know, was my little one just doing a Coutinho chant just then? It was, yeah, but it was in Portuguese, so I didn't understand it. Kevin Wells says, you guys are great. Thanks for keeping up the constant content. Thanks so much, Kevin. It means a lot to get comments like that. Really, really appreciate it. Thank you, Kevin, so much. Danny H says, Fornal's a bit of a bogeyman for us. I tend to agree. He doesn't come up with many goals that I can remember that have really broken my heart, but he always plays that kind of that linchpin game for them, whereby he's the guy that sparks something into action. And nice player, good pickup for them. I think they paid a decent amount of money for him as well. I think it was somewhere in the 20 to 30 million bracket for him. But I know that we were linked with him for a period of time under when we first came into the Premier League, but no, it didn't really happen. And he went to West Ham United. Simon Watton says, after the talk of Ramsey needing a rest, wouldn't surprise me if he goes and scores another banger. I'm all for that. I'll take as many bangers as we can get. For sure. Where else are we? Bench impact will be big today, says Ronan. Bench impact could be crucial today, and I think so too. I think so too. I haven't made up my mind on Ben Johnson yet. I haven't made up my mind on this Ben Johnson, the Canadian sprinter, a different deal. But This guy is. I've seen him play really well. He played really well against us in the 4-1 from my memory. I've seen him play as being another spoke in the wheel. It's a really strange one for me with him. I think he's like, it's funny, if we were looking for a right back to come in and be understudy to Matty Cash, I'd probably have him on the list. But I can't say as how good he potentially could be. I just don't know whether it's. I've not seen a lot of him, but I've seen him have some really good games. I've seen him be not a passenger as such, but just really mediocre in games too, and just get his job done. And I think I like that in a fullback. I think I do. And the reason I'm saying this about the bench impact today is because, when you look at their fullbacks, people will look at him and go, maybe he's the weak link, young guy inside there at right back. But I think Cresswell could be the weak link in that back four, because of his attacking prowess. And if you got a Bailey on there late on in the game to stretch him down that left wing, bring on Bailey on the right hand side, get him to stretch down that left wing, keep Cresswell honest, and get him behind him. I think that could be really, really crucial too. But it's great to have a bench. Absolutely fantastic to have a bench to be able to choose from. Makes such a difference.
100%.
Here we go. Jared Bowen has only ever missed one game for West Ham in the Premier League, and they drew that game to Brighton, so they have a 0% win percentage. There we go. But I think we laugh now. But somebody with his outball. Okay, we spoke about the three guys behind Antonio, and we spoke about what they have and how they're similar-ish. They're very similar. Well, we have Jared Bowen missing today, he's probably a bit shinier than those other guys in the fact that he's got the pace, the latent pace that can stretch teams, and he's got tons of goals in him too. Probably should be in the England squad, I think, at this stage. I think there's been a lot of players who've got run in the England squad that have been worse than him in the last few years. I think he probably should be getting a run in there to have a look at what he's doing. Reminds me an awful lot of Harvey Barnes, but maybe even a small bit more direct than Harvey Barnes. But he's missing today, and that's a big outlet for them. We spoke about Antonio's pace. They're also missing Jared Bowen's pace as well. And Jared Bowen really ripped us one in the 4-1 game as well. So, without him, it's going to be it's good news for Aston Villa for sure. Don't forget, guys, pop in your comments below. We're going to try and do a quick fire of your predicted scores. So if you tell us what your score is, we've probably got about another 5 minutes left in the stream. So pop in your scores, what your predicted score is underneath here, and be a chance to win one of those a gift box there from Six Socks that Paddy has up there. Remember that if you purchase anything from Six Socks, they do give is it 3 pairs to homeless charity or 1 pair?
1 pair per pair of socks. So if you buy a box set, they send 3 pairs to a homeless charity.
Yeah, which is savage in this day and age. Okay, so here we go. Is there anything else there? Anything else? Sorry, guys, there's tons of comments, which is a very, very good complaint to have. It's really good. So if I haven't got your comment, I do apologize. We'll get it in a moment.
I love this one.
Enjoying a glass of wine watching lads. I'm after a 12-hour night shift, and then I'd go to mass, staying up for the match. I'd be flaming later on. And if we win, we'll all be flaming, I think, Stephen. I think for sure. Sai, good to see you, Sai. Watching the ladies and the girls at Chelsea, still 0-0. We started well and pushed them back, but they're taking over now. 10 minutes gone. It's good. We've got that the women's team are playing as well against Chelsea. They need to start getting points as well soon. But that team is clicking together as well, which is nice. Which is very, very nice as well. Okay, let's have a little look at Claret Blue Witch, Callum Chambers, the English Burkap. I think the fans singing that to him at Leeds on Thursday. I think that was sung. And you're right, Bolg. Every week Neil says throw Bailey on against such and such in the defense, and we never see it happen. Well, in fairness, he's only coming back from an injury last two or three games, so it's going to happen at some stage. A stop clock is always right twice a day, So that's good. Oh no, yeah, you didn't like that comment, sure you didn't. No, you didn't. Right, here we go. We're going. That might be my cue to finish up this stream. So here we go on a bit of a rundown of of scores. So Rex Cole says 2-1, Watkins, Souček, and Ings. You even went in the sequence of the goals that are going to be scored. I like that. That's confidence. And I like the score as well. 2-1 to Aston Villa. We have 3-1 from National Treasure Explorers. We have 2-1 from Villa from Owen Bradley. 1-0 from Sean Green. Wetbiff says 2-1 to Villa. John J.R. McBride says 1-0 to Villa. Habzed Rahman says 3-2 Thriller. I think that's a 3-2 to Villa. I'm going to take on that one. Dean Everest says 3-2 Villa. 2-0 Villa, Ings and Mings from the Nuge TV. 3-0 Villa from John D. JMTD says 2-0 Villa. Bog the Villain says 1-0 Villa, 6 socks. 1-0 Villa says Liam Trainer. Villa 2-0 Ollie and Ings, 1 each. 2-0 Ings and Ramsey, 1-1 draw today, and we'll definitely take that, says, I'm not even showing these up, says David Winter. There's Trey Miranda says 2-0 Ings and Ramsey, 1-1 Rob Henry, 2-1 says Damien Leach, 2-0 clean sheet says Richard Edwards, 2-0 Villa Coutinho and Mings, Gavin D says 2-1 Villa, 1-1 says Tom Cowley, 2-0 says Biplav, good to see you Biplav. Dina goal today says Gav Deek, and that was in the 2-1 win. Carrot Witch, oh my God.
Be careful how you say that.
Carrot Blue Witch says 1-1. Shane Coleman says 2-0 Coutinho Brace. Watkins and Dina, 2-1 Villa. Brace from Mings on his birthday, 2-0. I'd love it. 2-1 win, says Kevin Donnelly. 2-1 to West Ham, says Johnny Five Fits. It's the first West Ham win that we've got inside there. We've got Lizanne McCallion says 1-1, and that is the end of our score predictions. Paddy, has Stephen picked the comment winner? Because I think I'm being beckoned to put this Bobbas to sleep here. Have we a comment winner? And if we
He's
don't,
typing. He's typing. Okay, we have a winner of the 6 socks.
We have a winner for 6 socks.
And the winner is Soupy Mark.
Soupy Mark. Congratulations, Soupy Mark. You are the winner. Get in contact with Paddy at Villa Paddy on Twitter. Get in contact with him, and he will be able to arrange those to be sent to you. Well done.
Absolutely. Well
Excellent
done.
stuff. Rightio. Lads, that's going to do it. 20 minutes past 1 on a Sunday. Fantastic. I love an earlier start than a Sunday. I know it's a 2 o'clock kick, but there's something about the 2 o'clock on a Sunday that I like. It's going to be tough to get to watch this game. I think that's fair to say. But we'll try and find a way of watching it. I actually do have a way of watching it at the moment. And that involves going to somebody's house. So we will do that. But Paddy's hat at the back post, 1-0 win. I love to see it. Excellent. Guys, that's going to do it for today. Thanks so much to everybody. Before you leave, can you please give this stream a thumbs up? Please, if you do find the tweet, please retweet the tweet so people can watch this back afterwards. It gets us out there a bit more. Really appreciate everything you've done. We got upwards of 300 people watching this podcast, watching this at any given time. Love it. Villa. Hopefully we will win today. As I say, take this away from today. It's a must not lose, I think, for the confidence of this team and for how this team is going to build. Really appreciate all your comments. As I say, let's go to the London Stadium, and let's get something out of this game against West Ham. We will be back with a reaction pod at some stage today. Thanks so much, everybody. I'm going to leave it at that. All that's left to say is up the Villa.
Up the Villa.